Story time. The origin of the Alur. The Alur legend of origin begins that there once lived a great king called Atira. He is said to have been direct descendant of God, and when he died, his son Otira succeeded him. Otira is said to have been in turn succeeded by Opobo. Opobo ruled from a place called Nyaraka in Lango County. When Opobo died, he left three sons, Tiful, Nyapiri, and Labongo. One day, Nyapiri borrowed Labongo's spear, intending to spear an elephant. Unfortunately, the elephant went away with the spear. When the news reached Labongo, he was very furious and he insisted on having back his own spear in spite of Nyapiri's pledges to offer him a substitute. Therefore, Nyapiri decided to go and follow the elephant, and having to cross big rivers, he found himself in a cool, beautiful land. During his wandering in this land, Nyapiri found an old woman. The old woman is said to have taken him to a place where, among other spears, Nyapiri was able to recognize Labongo's spear. The old woman also gave him a bead before he returned. When he reached home, he called all his brothers and presented the spear. Everyone was so amazed at Nyapiri's story, more especially at the bead. The bead was handed over to everyone to see and examine, but in the process, an infant, who was a son of Labongo, accidentally swallowed it. Nyapiri got his revenge. He also demanded that his own bead be given back. He refused all the possible substitutes, and left with no other alternative, Labongo handed over the child to Nyapiri to be cut open so that they can retrieve the bead. Nyapiri killed the child and got out the bead, but this act is said to have annoyed all the brothers so much that they decided to separate for good. Tiful, having been impressed by Nyapiri's story of a good country beyond the river, moved with his followers, including Lendu and Okebo, to the highlands in the west. His descendants are said to have comprised the Alur of Zaire. Nyapiri followed Tiful and traveled along the west bank of the Victoria Nile, and finally camped with his followers in an area opposite Pakwach. The land was not good for grazing, and there was no salt licks for his cattle, and they began to graze away. One day, some of the cows which had disappeared were said to have come back on their own, and they had salt licks adhering to their hooves. Nyapiri gathered all his followers, and they followed the tracks of the cows into the highlands of West Nile. He left behind one of his sons called Dosha to rule Pakwach. Nyapiri then established himself in the West Nile highlands. Historians contend, however, that this story of Alur's entry into West Nile, as conceived in the legend of the spear and the bead, was actually a struggle for power between the two brothers over the spear, which was part of their chiefly regalia. When they entered West Nile, they are said to have mixed with the Lendu and Okebo, as well as with the Sudanic Madi in the north, and later on with the Nyali and the Bendi, and then the Bira of the southwest.